Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you're watching this broadcast. This is Dr. Eric Tangumonkem with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. It's not enough to have great potential in you. We all do. You must discover it. Discovering is just the first step. This is followed by putting in the time, the energy, and the effort to develop that potential. When you are done developing yourself, it's not a means to an end. You are developing that potential because the potential has to be released to provide goods and services to better the lives of other people. That is why you must deploy the potential that you've developed. I want to welcome you for joining us today. Please, will you do me a favor? Don't watch alone. This is very vital information. I want you to share it, invite other people to join us. You may not agree with my viewpoint concerning the issues that I'm raising. Let's talk about it. The phone number is there, 214-908-3963. We also have an email, eternalkingdom101@gmail.com. eternalkingdom101@gmail.com. I need your feedback. I need to hear from you. For the past 24 days, we've been talking about the 52 strategies that will position you to succeed as an immigrant. If you are already succeeding, good for you. Help other people. If you are struggling, help is available. That's why I put this together, so that you will avoid making the mistakes other people have made. Each topic that we are covering is based upon my own mistakes and the mistakes of other immigrants. We're going to be talking today about planning carefully before you start a business in your country of birth. You must have noticed I talk about your country of birth, not your home country. There is a huge distinction between understanding the difference between home country and country of birth. Every subject, every topic we are treating is hinging on proper understanding of the difference between your home country and country of birth. A lot of immigrants have made mistakes because they have not been able to figure out the distinction between country of birth and home country. I know you are waiting. What is the difference? Your home is where you make it. Therefore, just because you were born in a particular country doesn't mean that it's your perpetual home. Home is where you are. Home is how you make it. Therefore, where you are right now where you are spending most of your time. Make it a home. Make it a home. When you do that, you're going to go far. It's very important for you to understand that. That's why before you try to set up a business in your country of birth, I want you to think very carefully so that you can avoid some of the pitfalls that other immigrants have fallen into. I've heard a lot of sad stories of people losing money. I've also lost money trying to do business in my country of birth. The issue here is not to pass blame, it's just to make you to be aware of some of the pitfalls that you are going to fall into if you don't do your homework. If you want to set a business, they are business principles that you must obey if you want to be successful. If you violate the business principles, you are going to fail. Many immigrants have failed because instead of allowing the business principles to inform their business decision, they became emotional and got into business because they want to help their country of birth. There is a difference between a charity organization and a business. Don't mix the two up. If you want to get into business, it must be a business. If you want to do charity, it must be charity. Unfortunately, many immigrants mix the two. They allow the pressure from those on the ground in their home country to push them to get into business ventures without thinking and having a thorough plan. Just because you were born in a particular country does not mean you have any business doing business in that country. You have to think through it thoroughly. If not, you are going to lose money. A lot of people have. I heard a story of a gentleman who bought a lot of goods here, borrowed money, put them in a container, shipped it to his country of birth, went through all the clearance at the customs and took out the goods, and he couldn't sell them. A trip that he thought was going to take him 2 months or a month or so ended up taking many, many months. He ended up losing a lot of money. You must not do business in your country of birth just for the sake of the business, because your relatives and your family and your friends are telling you, oh, look at what so and so is doing. Look at the type of building so and so has built. Look at the type of business they are operating. You too, to show that you love us, you love this country, you must invest. You must do something. That is not how we make a business decision. If you want to invest, you are not limited only to the country that you were born in. The world is your playfield, and you should be able to get enough information and select the most appropriate place where you get the highest return on your investment. Part of the lure of going back to your country of birth to set up a business is the idea of working with your family members, with your relatives. Nothing wrong in employing your relatives, nothing wrong in getting into business partnership with your relatives. There's nothing wrong in that, nothing. However, I want you to ask to answer this question. Are they trained? Do they have what it takes to run the business? Or you just want to do business because it's family and you want to help? I've said you have to distinguish between charity and business. If you want to run a business, you have to ask business questions. You need a business strategy. If not, both you and those you are trying to help are going to fail. A lot are failing. Relationships are being strained because both parties fail to do their homework. Do you know why the foreign companies that are operating in your country of birth are succeeding? I know we may give many reasons why, but part of it is that they set up the business properly. People are interviewed, there are control mechanisms to ensure that fraud is not taking place. Jobs are given out based upon competence. People are trained before that. When they're employed, they're trained to run those businesses. That is why I don't want you to get emotional and try to invest your hard-earned money in your country of birth without making sure the business is set up properly. If you violate business principles, you are going to end up making a loss. I did not say don't invest in your country of birth. I'm saying you have to move carefully, you have to plan before you execute. What I've noticed so far is that many people allow their emotions to take the better part of them. They feel that, oh, because I was born here, I must do something. No. If you want to do charity and give money to people, then let it be charity. But if you want to do a business, the business must turn a profit. If you are doing a business, year in, year out, you have to keep injecting capital and keep putting money, and you are never getting anything out of it. You are engaged in a charity venture. You are not doing a business. If you want to do a business, make sure that business is profitable. Some of you here in the diaspora, because of pressure and trying to feed it, you raise a lot of money and build a house somewhere out there. Nobody's sleeping in the house. The money, the tens and thousands of dollars that you invested in that building is not being plowed back because nobody's using it and the money is just sitting there. Meanwhile, you are here working 2, 3, 4 jobs and working round the clock to put food on the table and have a roof over your head. If you want to succeed, if you want to do well, make sure you are following economic principles. I guess part of the reason you migrated to the United States is because of a strong economy. Maybe you thought so before you came. If right now the economy is not as strong as you thought, initially you believed that the economy was better. That is why you showed up in the first place. Or maybe you're looking for better schools, or you were fleeing from persecution or whatever. The idea I'm bringing here is that the way business is done in the United States, there is a lot that you can learn so that you can apply some of these ideas wherever you're coming from. Don't just get into business because everybody is doing this particular business. You have to ask yourself, am I cut out to do this type of business? Is it going to be profitable? If I invest my money, am I going to have a return on that money? Capital is hard to come by. And that is why Warren Buffett says that the first rule of investing is that you don't lose your capital. And the second rule of investing is that you don't lose your capital. Capital is king. You need to educate those that you are working with that money is not found on the streets of the United States. Whatever you have, with the last broadcast, I was talking about remittances and sending money to those in your country of birth. You must educate them. You are working extremely hard. They need to know that. There's no food for a lazy man in the United States. You know how many hours you clock in and you clock out. Some of you work all night. When you're getting in the morning, your husband is leaving for work. When your husband is coming in the evening, you're going out for work. You're working all the time. There's no time to sit on this beautiful, fancy couches you've bought. There's no time to sit and enjoy it, even the big house that you've bought. You know how hard you're working. Don't allow your emotions and the pressure from others to force you to lose your sweat. I'm not against you giving money to people. I didn't say that. I'm not against you investing. I didn't say that. I just said, don't mix charity and investment. If you really want to invest and be successful, make sure you ask the hard questions. Employ people that are competent. If they're not competent, you train them. If you train them and they don't learn the skills that you need, you fire them. Your business is going to fail. It will fail. You better work with competent people and use the proceeds and do charity with it. If it's a business, it must be a business. Just because you're in the diaspora and you are making some money right now doesn't qualify you to run a business. You need to do your homework. There are tons of books on how to run businesses, the type of questions to ask, how to do your feasibility studies, market surveys, and all that. Just because you are abroad does not mean when you show up in your country of birth, you're just going to succeed. Many have used that approach and they've lost a lot of money. We're talking about money. I mean, some of you are saying, oh, money is really not important. Really? Then you're working that hard? You work around the clock like that? If the money was not important? Come on. I mean, my desire for you is that you do well. And some of these topics, they are difficult conversations, but we must have them. We must have them. Stop allowing pressure from others to force you to get into projects that you haven't thought thoroughly about. If you do it right, everybody will benefit. Your present home country will benefit. The country where you were born in will benefit. Your relatives, your family, your friends, your community, your village, your town, your city, everybody's going to benefit. We want to make sure we are running profitable businesses. If you set up a charity, it's a different model. If you are running a business, make sure you follow it through. If you have any questions, I've given you the phone number. I've given you the contacts. Let's talk. Let's have this conversation so that together we can truly establish businesses that will uplift many more people out of poverty and better their lives. Thank you so much for watching. You've been listening to Dr. Eric Tangumonkan with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. Here is the resource out of which I'm having this series of broadcasts. If you have not yet secured your own copy, do so. If you know other immigrants that need this information, if you're working with immigrants and you want to help them grab this resource for them, we have availability for huge discounts for those who want to order more than one copy. Thank you. God bless you. Until next time, remain blessed.